Hello, welcome to Money Lap Group Chat. It is Wednesday, March 26th in the afternoon, and we've got a lot on the plan here to talk about. There is some news out of the Cup Series in terms of some rule changes. We've got TV ratings from all of the races this past weekend that are kind of interesting. Actually, more than kind of, very interesting. And big news in Formula One. It's been the talk of the racing world. Can a driver get fired after just 2 races in one of the top teams in all Formula One? It looks like that is the case. All that and more. Oh, wait a second. And we have a guest, a big guest, a guy who took away my massive win at the Charlotte Roval last fall. That is none other than 7-time Xfinity Series winner, but that should be 6. Sam Mayer's joined the program. Let's get going. What an intro. Just did it off the cuff, boys.
Why, hello.
Hello.
AJ's here. Is here. Landon may be joining us. He has said he would join. We mentioned Sam Mayer coming up a little bit later in the show, so looking forward to that. Before we jump into the racing stuff, we just had a really important discovery. First and foremost, all 3 of us agree that Interstellar is probably one of the top 5 movies of all time.
Easily.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Yep. And that AJ doesn't go to movie theaters, which is just a massive Gen Z failure. You're killing the movie industry. You know that, right?
I love watching movies. It's just the experience at home is better. You can customize it however you want.
I'm going to just stop you right there and say you're an Interstellar fan, but you haven't seen Interstellar in IMAX. You truly haven't experienced Interstellar.
The closest IMAX to me is like an hour away.
I actually saw Interstellar for the first time in a movie theater when it came out.
Yeah.
Then I've subsequently watched it once a year, every year, because it's incredible. It's basically a documentary.
First time I watched it, I went into it like not even knowing what it was. And my dad just took me and we went in an IMAX and saw it. And during the launch sequence, when my entire body and internal organs were shaking through that basically THX experience, I was like, holy shit, this is what it's like to be a NASCAR driver.
Wow, that was the fact you could say THX experience and not just sound experience was so nerdy. Hey, are you drinking a beer?
This is a Diet Mountain Dew.
The group chat should have
it's kind of
alcoholic beverages, to be honest. We're kind of missing out on that. It is 4:30. We do this late enough in the day.
Next week I'll bring in like a Voodoo Ranger or something.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Might as well. Can't drink all day if you don't start early. So
you look like you're ready to start drinking. I will admit.
I am. For those who are just listening, I am wearing my Sebring 12-hour shirt that is literally the poster that they make every endurance, like big endurance race. They do these big posters. And this shirt is the poster in shirt form. It is tremendous. I'll just show it off here to the camera real quick. Yeah, this is nice. This is what I got the, opening there, so you can see the necklace I'm wearing. It's really special. And actually, I got it over the Sebring 12 weekend, went to the autograph session, and then all these people are bringing up the poster to sign. And I'm like, I'm wearing the poster. And then one guy walked up with the same shirt, and we became instant fast friends. He was a big fan of Money Lap, so that's cool. Hopefully he's out there listening or watching this and sees it. Yeah, shout out to him. So let's talk some racing stuff, boys. Some rules that just came out for NASCAR, literally just moments ago. They've updated the driver eligibility section that says any previously approved driver who has not competed in an approved series has been changed from at least 1 year must be required to resubmit the driver information record application. They have changed that to over 365 days may be required to resubmit the driver information record application. So if I tried to go to a cup race, haven't done one in over 365 days, I may be required to submit information. I think they know me pretty well at this point.
I think it's a good rule change.
Yeah, I know. I have touted the idea of a licensing system that most likely in my design licensing system would probably make me ineligible to be in the Cup Series if it was done the way I would think it would be done. But selfishly, if given the chance to go drive a Cup car, I don't even know if I would have time. I really don't have time, to be honest. Then I could do it right now, which is nice. You wouldn't be eligible, AJ.
I should be, but I understand the rules.
Unless that car is hooked up to a controller, I don't think AJ's vibing with it.
I want to do that. Somebody needs to give me like $1 million, and then we're going to take an actual NASCAR and somehow connect a controller to it. I've seen people do it before, like on YouTube. They'll like connect a controller to a car and they'll drive it around like a parking lot. But I want like a stock car at like Charlotte. We'll do it at Charlotte on the oval.
That would take a lot of testing first to do it a controller. For those that don't know, AJ was known as the controller king when we first met many years ago on iRacing, because you were one of the fastest people I've ever seen on a controller on iRacing. Pretty damn impressive.
I mean,
Thank you.
He finished like what, 4th in the inaugural Firecracker 400 for anyone who
I finished 4th. Yep.
For anyone who has never watched the Firecracker 400, one of the cool things about it is it's the 1987 Cup cars on a very bumpy old Daytona surface, sliding around with no grip, and it's what everyone wears their rose-colored glasses for. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's a look back at the
really
history of stock car racing. A true hot and slick, wore out, horrible handling stock car at a great speedway in Daytona when it had all the bumps and everything. So that was a fun one we've done.
I actually have a ticket to the 1987 Firecracker 400 signed by Bobby Allison.
Wow.
In my cabinet. My parents got this after the very first time we ran the event.
And if you're not watching YouTube, he's holding that up right now. I said I would describe for the listeners. I've kept with that pact. I hope the listeners out there, and if you haven't left us a review, we're only at 214 right now. We hit a bit of a stall point there. We're trying to get to 300. Give us a review. Let us know what you think of the group chat, only if it's 5 stars when you get on here. So, guys, speaking of which, on YouTube, we have been doing polls on there. We've been interacting with the community. We're getting a lot of votes. Kind of cool. We had one come out a day ago, and it asked, who is the most unlucky driver so far in 2025? The options were Ryan Blaney, Lewis Hamilton, Ty Gibbs, and other. Who do you think? Well, you know this because you can see the notes, so it's not a really fun question to ask you guys who you think is leading that. But kind of a landslide win. Maybe this is a bit of recency bias since he just had an engine blow up for the second time in 3 weeks, but that's Ryan Blaney, 74% of the vote. Ty Gibbs at 14%, Lewis Hamilton just at 6%. Him getting disqualified for his plank being wore down too much, FIA legality plank, apparently got no sympathy.
I feel like I'd want to be either of them over Ty Gibbs, though, because Lewis and Ferrari, they got some speed, clearly, that we don't really know how much yet, but they have podium race winning speed. Ryan Blaney has race winning speed. Like, it seems like almost every week so far, him, Christopher Bell, and maybe like Larson are like obviously the best 3 cars. And Ty Gibbs doesn't have speed and he has bad luck right now. So
I feel like having speed but not having luck is a far worse situation than not having speed and not having luck.
It's a fair argument.
No,
I didn't think about that.
Not at all. No, that's the stupidest thing ever. Yeah, it's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, I mean, Parker, let's throw your name into the hat. I would say that you're the unluckiest driver of 2025.
Well, it was
and 2024.
Yeah. When you lose races in the most weird ways, big monumental wins. One, you get to celebrate, go to victory lane, do the press conference, and then they take it away.
Yeah.
In a very unfortunate situation.
Brutal.
So I know that, but no, to refute you on why you would rather have speed and just be unlucky, is speed is really hard to come by in motorsports. And I don't care what you're racing, whether you're racing MX5 Cup, Spec Miata, or your local go-kart track versus the NASCAR Cup Series. Speed is the hardest thing. So if you've got that, there is a lot that you can do that just turn your luck around, right? If you're slow and you're unlucky, well, then you might as well just not show up, because then that's just the worst thing. There is no positivity to turn it around. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. And especially in the NASCAR 3 Series right now, having speed and being unlucky means you might get stage points. So you get rewarded for showing up, right? Like if you back it before stages, you could go lead, I don't know, 199 out of 200 laps, blow a right front tire, finish 35th. That's all you get. Now, if you do that and you win 2 stages, bam, the worst you're going to finish points wise is 20th, right? Give or take. So it's a big deal to have speed. What was your question, AJ?
It's so unrelated, and at this point, I don't think anybody's going to care. But I remember after you won Mid Ohio in the truck race,
Mm-hmm.
you took your flag and you went to the airport with your flag, and you were walking around the airport like a little kid with a balloon, you know.
Yep.
At Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland. After Daytona, you said you were going to keep the flag. 1, do you still have the flag? And 2, did you use it as a carry-on onto the plane on your way home?
Yes, I still have it, and I did, and it's hanging up in my office here. So I hang up all the flags
Nice.
in my office
Cool.
that I have this studio in. You can't see them, and it would be too hard for me to go get it, but I have a cool display. I actually ran into the problem where there's only 3 slots for flags, so I had to remove one and keep this one up there. So I removed which one did I remove? Maybe Mid Ohio is not up there now. It's my first 2012 Talladega. The 2017 is up there. Oh no, I'm sorry. I put both the Daytona and the Mid Ohio together in a slot. They're just joined together right now. So I got all 4 in there. Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty cool. And I did bring it through the airport. I did put it in the front pocket of the seat in front of me on the ride back, which looked hilarious. No one ever asked a thing.
Nice.
My only fun story about that was back in 2017 when I won Talladega. I had a tight flight afterwards to get back to New York City, and but even beforehand, that weekend, even before I got there, I remember telling a buddy of mine, I said, hey, I've booked my flight late enough, so when I win, go to Victory Lane, all that stuff, I'll have enough time to get back, to go out in the city that night. And so I win, I barely make the flight, and I get on there, and I got upgraded to first class, or maybe I bought first class because I just said, screw it, I'm going to win. And it was like a Delta flight, whatever, and the flight attendant brought me a bottle of champagne and a nice note that said, congrats on your win at Talladega. Here's a bottle of champagne.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Did you
sparkling, it was Prosecco. But
so the question I have is, did you turn to the flight attendant before that and say, this flag's because I won Talladega? Or did you say nothing and she picked up on it?
It wasn't actually a she, so that's
he. Sorry, I apologize.
How dare you?
I should not assume.
Oh my goodness! Wow, you're canceled. So
oh boy,
I'm kidding. I can't remember what I said, but I think when I walked in, I was like, "Yeah, just won a race or something." But then they obviously looked it up, so that was nice of them. Very cool. We had another poll from last weekend. 2 days ago. What was your favorite race of the weekend? NASCAR Cup Series 1 was 65%. Once again, mile and a half. The NASCAR Cup Series are awesome to watch. Miami's great. NASCAR Xfinity was 21%. F1 11%. IndyCar 3%. Not a big one. People weren't loving it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I agree with the polls. They are 100% correct.
Wow. What a stick. Thank you for being on here with your really strong opinions.
Oh, I gotta elaborate a little bit.
I would just like a little something more. Hey guys, so the group chat's been fun. We're shutting it down. These guys have no opinions apparently. They're real outspoken in our chat, but they just can't.
That's not true.
I mean, it's
that's not true.
Correct.
I just don't know why the IndyCar race is on here and the truck race isn't. I mean, let's be honest.
You can only choose 4.
That's a good take.
I get that you can only choose 4. My point is why did we choose IndyCar and not the truck race? Because I felt like the truck race was way more compelling. Like, sorry, IndyCar fans, I apologize, but let's be honest with ourselves. The truck race was more interesting.
Yeah, thermal was not great, and we'll get into that later. But I'd agree that thermal was, and we'll get into. There was even more.
I mean, great. Oh man, I'm so mad about that, dude. I want to hear about it.
We'll get there. We had another poll. Should the NASCAR championship race return to Homestead-Miami Speedway? This was an interesting one. 66% said yes. The 3% said no, it should stay at Phoenix, which must be the 3% that live in Phoenix or go to the Phoenix one.
Well, didn't you say we had NASCAR executives that listen to us?
They do. So that might be them. And 32% say it should change every year. So that is basically 90 some odd percent that agree that it should
not be Phoenix.
Not be Phoenix. Yeah.
All right. After we finished recording on Monday, Parker, I sent a text.
Oh,
because we had talked about this in previous episodes, and I'm shocked we didn't mention it. We came up with 3 options, maybe 4,
Yep.
that the championship race could be at. But we totally just like forgot about what if we just didn't have a single championship race and instead had a 3-round finale or a 2-round finale.
Yeah, I've liked that. I thought that's probably a fair thing, right? I don't know. It's also complicated, the whole system, and trying, when you get to the playoffs and you're trying to explain points, playoff points, and how cars advance and they don't, and everyone races at the same time, it just becomes so confusing. I think at times, and I know that because on the TV side, at times we're like trying to figure it out. Like, wait a second, time out. If this is hard for us to figure out, could you imagine just being sort of a casual fan? You're like, yeah, I like NASCAR. I like to check in sometimes. What the hell is happening?
One person moves a spot and the entire grid order for the playoffs on the side of the screen swaps somehow.
It just goes
like,
all
oh,
over the place. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. And I think I've gotten to where I appreciate it. And having raced in the playoffs now 2 years, I've enjoyed it. Like, being a competitor, it's a lot of fun. It is confusing. It is hard at times. You have to kind of get to where you're just sort of, hey, what's my objective? Am I trying to get points? Am I going for a win? Where are we at points wise? Because you kind of want to know that to know what you need to do through the race. But as a competitor, it's intense, because until you've been put in a 3-race situation where you're trying to get to the next round to continue for your season in a championship, there's no pressure like it. And then there's no pressure that you will ever experience in motorsports than being in the lead late in a race that you must win to advance. It's one of the most spectacular feelings I've ever had in a race car, because you just sense and know that there's a massive moment around you, and that's obtainable, and that you can be in big moments. There's big races, you can get in the Daytona 500, maybe a little bit of that feeling, but when you're in a position to literally continue your season and you're battling for the win to do that, there's no feeling like it in a race car.
I just want to add one more thing.
What's that?
Onto the whole Homestead versus Phoenix debate. I listened to you and Landon talk about it on Monday. Nobody said anything about Martinsville, and I can't believe it, because that'd be the most perfect championship finale.
That's not happening. Listen,
can you imagine the Xfinity finale at Martinsville? Insane that would be.
Completely insane. That's why it won't happen. It'd also be frigid. It's already damn cold there when we go there late in the year.
What's another week?
Basically snowing at that point. So, guys, he's a little early, but I think we got a special guest here with us on the group chat. Sam Mayer is in the house. 7-time Xfinity Series winner. That should be 6, by the way. I'm just gonna bring it up real quick off the top. Buddy. Yeah. By the way, buddy, this is the group chat. We got myself, AJ Henderson, who works at Money Lap, Josh Mendoza, who works at Money Lap. Landon might join in at some point. You never know in this Wednesday show that we do. Thank you for joining. But like I said, that should be 6 wins, because your most recent win was between us, and you got me totally fairly, but we never really hashed it out. I just want to say, do you want to say sorry or not at this point?
Do you want to look at the trophy?
That's cool.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, you bring that up. You bring the trophy up here right now.
That's a rough one, man. I know that caution was very poor timed, unfortunately for Gang.
Yeah, it happens. That's racing. I'm curious though. We'll get into this year and everything, but just looking back at that year and actually that race, that battle. What I loved about it, because we haven't talked about it a ton, was there was a point with 8 to go or something, and I came on the radio. I'm like, does he have to win as well? And they're like, yes, he has to win. And I was like, damn, it's a battle royale to the death here between us two.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how we had a rough year last year, obviously, and it really was coming down to it, because we had a rough playoff run. We got DQ'd at Talladega, had a rough race at Vegas, and all those other racetracks. I don't even remember any of those, but yeah, we certainly like cutting it down to the wire over there, and I guess we made it happen, but we like making our life pretty difficult, it seems like.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? The last thing we'll say about it is just we were just having a discussion. There's nothing like being in the fight for a win when you have to win to continue your season. Like it's a weird, it's a crazy feeling.
It's frustrating, but also thrilling at the same time, because you're like, well, especially like take the Roval for example, is like you're in position too. Like you're not out of it. You're not running 12th all day. You actually have a legitimate shot at it. And I mean, it's thrilling. That's what you're here to do. That's why you race at the end of the day. I mean, you know that. Like that's what you're chasing each and every time you go on the racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about this year, and specifically last weekend. You were probably the second fastest car in the Xfinity Series besides Kyle Larson. At times, I felt like you were maybe a better car. What was that like racing him? I know it comes down to the late race restart. We can dive into that. But just in terms of your racing, Kyle Larson at a place that he's considered to be one of the best, and at times were faster. Like I feel like that had to be a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like the second stage where we beat him on a restart, and I had the lead and was able to get through traffic pretty well. And he was definitely hounding me down pretty good and keeping me on my toes. But it was really fun racing him. Like we were both running the fence, pretty much the exact same line in 3 and 4, and then 1 and 2, I was doing a little bit different of a line because my car just needed it. For some reason, in the top of 1 and 2 on the wall, I really couldn't make speed up there, and in the middle of the track was just better for me. So we were a little bit different down there, but 3 and 4, he was like nailing the wall every time, like within probably like 3-4 inches every time, and I could look up in my mirror and I just see him like coming with a head of steam off of 4. I'm like, dude, what do I have to do to get away from this guy? But yeah, he was just hounding me down the whole time, but it was a lot of fun doing it. Obviously he bested me pretty much the whole stage 3, just had a little more pace on the long run, but I felt like fresh tires, first 5-6 laps of the run, I would be probably 2-3 tenths a lap quicker than him and everyone else in the field. So when we had new tires on that last restart, I was pretty pumped because I knew that what the speed we had in our car was, and I knew the top lane wasn't as good, and so I was really excited to restart on the bottom because I really was on the top all day on the restarts, just because I was either second trying to learn the restarts or third filling in line front row. But yeah, it was a lot of fun being able to do that and race hard for the win and go against the best while doing it.
Yeah, I want to get into that restart because Landon and I were talking about this on Monday, and you were a part of the Josh Wise program for a little bit with Chevy and that whole situation. And one of the things that came out of that in the analytics, and Landon had been a part of it, I know he trained with you a little bit, was like the idea that when you have those late race restarts, you go early, right? And if you're the lead car, do it as early as you think you could even put NASCAR in a position to make a call, right? Did you expect him to go early and were kind of shocked when he didn't, and that's why you got in the back of him? Or were you anticipating it? You can be honest. We won't tell anyone other than this is going to go out to the internet. So,
dude, like I'll be fully transparent. This is the luckiest time to be on this podcast is to talk about it. Yeah, I was in the Chevy program for 6 years, so I got every ounce of information from Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, John Hunter when he was over there, like all these guys that are really, really good, especially at these late race restarts. I was in all those meetings, so I know all of what they're thinking. And so the strategy usually is, especially at Homestead, is just go. Like you're always anticipating that the bottom's going to restart better. It has more grip. The aggregate of the racetrack is different than the top because everyone runs up there. And so I restarted on the top lane, and it was hard. I struggled really hard. I restarted one of the restarts in third gear and got the exact same launch as the 17. And I was obviously able to pull, but it wasn't even great in third gear. So it was really rough up there getting launched and going. But yeah, when he didn't go at the first line, I was like, okay, we're playing these games. So I'm pretty hard on the brake pedal at this point, just trying to stay off of them as much as I can. But I'm already like applying throttle, just being ready to go. And we're still not going. And it was probably 3 seconds in the restart zone, and we still haven't gone. And we're pretty much at the second line. And at this point, I know the 21 knows when he's going to go, because you throw all of the games that you can do. The more games you play, the more room there is for other drivers to know when you're going, because when you keep going through the restart zone, the distance where you can go is less and less and less. So you can just time it if you're the second place car and just go. So that's why I was frustrated, because all we had to do was go. Like, me and the 17 could have raced it out.
Yep.
And if we go, the 21 and the 7 are going to be in our mirrors, and it's not even going to be a race. And it was going to be a 1v1. And I felt like the 17 definitely made a mistake doing that. But at the end of the day, he's a veteran cup champion. He knows what he's doing. So it's hard for me to say that was wrong. But yeah, it's just like we went through how many restarts today, and the bottom got the launch every single time. Like the bottom won 4 out of the 5 restarts that day, and the only one that didn't win was when we were playing games. Like, it's just why? Like, why are we doing that? It's almost like when you get too fancy, it almost mucks up the water too much to where it's not right. So I'm pretty frustrated about that, but that's my thought process. Is literally just let's go. Let's just get down into turn 1, and we'll both be clear, and we can have a good race. But not good. Not good.
I will let you say he made a mistake, and you don't want to know why? Because he didn't win the race. He didn't win the race. So yeah, he made a mistake. He threw, he had it in the bag, obviously, with a large lead before that caution. And to your point, if you, and I think Landon brought this up on Monday, and it was a pretty good point. It's like, if you guys had told the 21, hey, we're going to go at this spot, he still wouldn't keep up with you guys with how much better the bottom was. So it's like all you had to do was just do a restart, and you have the top side beat. So I'll let you say it. That he made a mistake.
I appreciate that, because I'll say the hardcore fans, the DMs I have is freaking unreal.
Really?
I don't want to say too much, but yeah, it's like there's a lot of people out there that are wishing that I'm not alive right now. It's pretty crazy. So
jeez.
That's what's frustrating to me, is like I'm a full-time Xfinity guy. Like, he came down to my territory, and we were playing these games. That's great. That's fine. But when those fans come down as well and decide to have their word in it, it's a little frustrating. Just because I'm trying to do my own thing. Like, I'm not in the Cup Series yet for a reason, because I'm still learning. But it's like let me do my thing, man. We're gonna figure it out and work on it, and go to Martinsville with the same type of restarts there, where you're gonna see a lot of games played. And I'm gonna take what I learned last week and apply it to Martinsville and try to go win the Dash for Cash this week.
Love it. No, I hear you, bud. And that's tough. I'm sorry to hear that about all the fans out there. We had the same ones in our comments here on this show on our YouTube, chirping at us for saying that Kyle Larson had probably made a mistake with that restart. So it's just you play those games. What's this? You play games, win stupid prizes. It's like you really in that moment didn't have to play any games, and it's a 1v1, as you said, between you two to try and see who could win on the short run there. I know that AJ and Josh want to ask you something, because there's a friend, we have a mutual friend with you, which is our graphics guy, Brett Worsham. And he was giving us some insight into your gaming preferences. And these two have had a long conversation before you came on about this specific gaming stuff that I know literally nothing about this game. So AJ, I'll let you take it. What do you want to know from him?
Well, we heard the rumor around the garage is you're quite the Minecraft aficionado. So me and Josh, immediately we were like, oh, we wanted to ask the same question, which was, do you play vanilla Minecraft? Do you play with mods? Do you just play on like online servers?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I was younger, I would do all the crazy stuff, like modded Minecraft servers, different mini games you can play on servers and stuff like that. I always enjoyed that. But as I've gotten older and you kind of have that 2-week Minecraft phase, quote unquote, and you get on every now and then, and then you kind of get tired of it, go play different games. Me and the graphic designer guy, I guess I can say his name is Brett, but we hang out every now and then and get on the game and play. But I'm a vanilla guy now. I like the just the regular game. It's nice and relaxing and peaceful. When you have hectic weekends like you did in Homestead, it's nice to come home and just hang out and go fishing on the Minecraft game or whatever you want to do. So, I'm a vanilla guy, but I'll play a bunch of different other games as well. Like we'll play F1 24. That's what we've been grinding a lot lately is the career mode. We've been getting into that and playing that. I never really watched or paid attention to F1 at all until I started playing that game. So it kind of opened up my horizons a little bit on that, and I pay attention a little more. But I go in phases of what I usually play, and right now we're kind of on those two games.
That's awesome.
The Minecraft stuff makes no sense to me at all. I just don't even.
It's like
a boomer.
19-year-old game. How have you guys played it?
You guys are Gen Z. I'm a millennial.
Hey, man,
put me in the boomer
Minecraft,
category.
You can do whatever you want to do. The sky's the limit. That's what they say.
That's good to know.
Yeah, dude, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was happy when they increased the build height because on the sky was even higher. You could build even bigger.
Oh, true, dude.
Yeah.
What are you guys even speaking about?
Dude,
I know
we're gonna force Parker to play Minecraft, and we're gonna stream it on the Money Lap YouTube account.
Yeah, we'll boot up a Money Lap Minecraft server.
4 people would want to see that. Thanks for that. There you go, Sam. Our viewership just tanked just for this whole Minecraft thing.
Oh man, can't have that.
No, they love it.
I just didn't know anything about that. You mentioned F1. We do talk about F1 here all the time. So are you watching F1 now? Are you into it?
Like I'll pay attention to it, like to see who's winning. Like I saw that there was a bunch of penalties this last weekend, so I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And so I kind of dug in to see what it was all about, but I don't understand it enough really to be dangerous yet. But it's kind of interesting how different that world is than NASCAR. Like even on the game is like you try to do the NASCAR line at Coda and it yells at you. I'm like, just let me race. I can't do this.
Track limits. They
fellow track limit hater. We love it.
Oh, man.
I like those turned off, please.
Yes, get rid of them. Yeah, turn 19. They're like, you put your left sides over that curb. You're like, over that curb? There's a curb there on the exit? What do you mean?
Exactly.
We're all the way out there. Let us go. What the hell? Looking at this season to talk more racing stuff, you went to HFT from Junior Motorsports. Obviously been a pretty hot start for you guys. Tons of speed. We're going to Martinsville. I know it's a place you like. Had a great run there in the spring last year. What's the vibe? What's the feeling like in the race team for you?
I'm excited because I have a lot of speed there. I've done pretty well there in the past, but I haven't won there yet. And I've been really, really close. Like in the spring last year, we were leading with 5-6 to go. Caution comes out, we lose the race, whatever. And then we go there in the fall. Previous year, last year, we're always in contention in the top 5, but I've never had either race winning pace and finish the job or race winning pace and be there at the end. So I'm kind of looking forward to going back because the Haas cars were pretty good there the last couple of years. Cole has really built that program up and they were pretty good in the fall. So if we keep making those gains like we have been over the last couple of weeks, that we're good last fall, we're bringing it back this year and having that same pace. So I'm really excited because I feel like it's between me and Jason, my crew chief, we can do some pretty good things because he's pretty brilliant when it comes to what you can do on the box to put you in a good spot. So we've done a good job so far this year, but we obviously want to do a little better to hang some more banners in the shop. But yeah, I feel like a grandfather clock this weekend would be really nice.
That would be pretty sweet. You're also getting a few texts, I think. I don't know if it was important, but you had like 3 texts.
I don't use my computer a whole lot, so I don't really know how to mute that without muting you guys. I'm not very good at technology. Unless
we're a Minecraft player, not good at tech.
I'm weird. I'm not very smart sometimes.
You're just trying to go fish. You're just trying to fish in Minecraft, man.
Yeah. I mean, the first probably 30
Simple
days
guy.
in the world, that's pretty much all I'm doing. So
yeah, you gotta stock up on the food. Yeah.
Exactly.
We get it. Parker doesn't get it, but we get it, Sam.
What the
Can we
hell
just
you guys
replace
are talking
Parker
about?
with Sam as
That's
host?
true. This is your show now,
like
Sam.
this.
Yeah, taking it over, I guess. Let's have some fun.
We'll just get you a little better mic. We'll send it to you, and it's just your show now. It's the Wednesday group chats with you. I hope it's nothing important happening because you're blowing up.
No,
so people they want to know. They need this. Your crew chief, Jason.
I can't even hear it. I don't even know how you hear these.
He's like, man, we gotta go do this in the sim, and you're like, oh, man, I'm on this show. Come on, let me just focus.
Now, the sim stuff's pretty easy at Ford. Like we're doing a pretty good job of building the Ford sim up and getting it a lot better because I mean, it's a program that's like obviously been around for a while, but you're always trying to get better each and every time. And bringing Sheldon on board to the Ford side, and obviously me as well, having a lot of experience with Chevys, like we're able to bring a lot of information over here and get everything a lot better. So I'm in the sim a lot, more for like tire tuning and different stuff like that, getting the sim better. But Jason and all those guys, like their sim time is on Monday only. So we get to post a little bit, do some pre-race stuff, and then that's what you get. So we're trying to get it better to get it to a point where we can use that time better. But right now, Jason does a really good job of being prepared for it. And so we can just knock through a bunch of stuff and get ready to go. But usually we have our mind made up before we even go there. It's just kind of making sure that we know what we're doing. But yeah, we're always a couple steps ahead, it feels like. And we do a good job in the sim.
Well, actually, you got me thinking because I wanted to know this. Like in terms of the cars, Fords versus the Chevys and the engine differences, which I feel like would be the really big difference in switching manufacturer in terms of like when I look at Phoenix, the Fords could shift really well, where sometimes I felt like the Chevys, we'd struggle with that and that sort of thing. And so like what has stuck out to you, if anything, that these drive differently? And then on the sim side, well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but like obviously Chevy invested massively in that tech center that you and I were at for the last couple of years and all the sims they have there and what they've done with the sim stuff. Like what on the Ford side is different, or is it just that they haven't had as big an Xfinity program as many Chevy teams as there was in the Chevy side? So I guess that's a two-part question. How the real race cars drive differently and what's different in the sim?
Yeah, I'll start with the sim. Like obviously Chevy, they didn't really have like a technical center like that even 3 years ago. So it was kind of a big boom right when we came into the Xfinity Series, and it was really huge. Like to have that, like 4 sims in one building, all the technical people and the engineers literally just across the way, and obviously having the Josh Wise program right there and as well. Everything was in one building. It was really nice. But Ford is obviously a little bit smaller. They're still building up and getting better each and every time, each and every year. But it's definitely quite a bit different going over to Ford and kind of building that program up a little bit. But I feel like I've gained so much experience over at Chevrolet that I'm able to take some of that over and help Ford out and be productive on the Xfinity side. Like the Cup side, there's so many good Ford drivers, and the sim has been there for a while. So they kind of have that infrastructure already, whereas Xfinity, I feel like, is still a little bit of a work in progress. But that's kind of the fun of it. I enjoy that. But yeah, going from Chevy, which has a multi-million-dollar technical center, to Ford, that's a little bit different. It's definitely quite the change, but it's been a fun experience so far. And obviously, the cars on track aren't worse. Like we're still out there competing for wins and have been up front and led laps almost every race this year. So the cars definitely drive different. I wouldn't say anything's better or worse. I feel like the Ford cars definitely have a lot more power, maybe on the bottom end. And the shifting, like you mentioned, is actually quite a bit easier on the Ford side. And we saw that at Phoenix. Like I was able to shift in practice and do it just because. So it was pretty fun to be able to do that because I've never really dabbled in that much in the past, except for like Gateway and stuff like that, where you almost have to do that. So it was pretty cool to be able to do that on an oval and see speed come out of it. But yeah, like the handling and stuff like that and the way the chassis are built, I haven't really seen any difference in that. But definitely like the Ford, the way they make their power is a little different too. But I'm definitely a big fan, and I'm a big blue oval guy now. And so I want to get them some W's in Xfinity.
That's fascinating, man. That's what I wondered about, like, because we raced against them the last couple of years, and I was always like, they would like at Phoenix, they were shifting ways. I'm like, I can't do that. Like, it's not going to work. So That's really interesting. And I think for people out there who see the race cars and they're like, they all look the same. And it's like, no. They're different. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy how like the details, like the little things all matter and all lead up to what you see on the racetrack. Because I mean, you have the Toyotas out there doing their own engine program. The Chevys obviously have 2 different engine programs. Ford has Yates and Roush and all that kind of stuff. So you have 4 different really engine manufacturers running for 3 different OEMs. So it's pretty interesting to kind of see and tell the difference between all of them. I've obviously only experienced the Hendrick motors and the Roush motors, but Sheldon's been in pretty much all of them. So he can bring a lot of information and tell the difference better than I can. But it's pretty cool to have all that different experience in one shop now.
Yeah. You're getting blown up, so I think we're gonna have to eventually let you just get into those texts. It's probably Brett, or hopefully maybe someone way more important when we let you go. But before we do, I think Josh and AJ have one more. What's next? What else?
I gotta know, Sam. Brett also mentioned you guys play Fortnite. Where are you guys dropping? What's your shot? Are you like a casual dropper, or do you go straight to Tilted Towers?
I'm a Tilted guy. Especially like way back in the day, like when Tilted first came out, dude. It'd be like speed running. How quick can I die? But
yeah, there you go.
Tilted was always my spot. I got pretty good at Fortnite. Like I was actually at the point where when competitive came out, I was actually earning a little bit of money because I was like, I was competing in tournaments and I was actually doing pretty well.
That was gamer
ages ago during COVID, so I'm probably a little more washed now. But I still get on there every now and then and play. But
so you're a build guy.
OG is probably the best thing ever. I love that. The nostalgia.
Oh, it's so good.
Absolutely creaming, but it's great. Going Tilted every now and then.
You like build or no build mode more?
See, I'm a sweat. Like I'll just get on.
No.
And like casually just sweat on kids, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm always a build guy.
Wow. What are these kids talking about? What is happening right now? Well, good luck with that. We learned something new. You've been paid to play video games. That's pretty impressive, and that's different than just getting paid to do the sim. So I'm impressed by that, my man. Thanks for coming on. Hey, we're gonna have you on monthly or bi-weekly. I can't remember, but you're coming back.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be on here a lot more than I obviously have been in the past. I think it's gonna be every other week.
Let's freaking go!
That's awesome.
I'll get my text messages under control for next time too.
Josh is our resident nerd and tech guy. He can probably figure that out for you. So it's got to be something.
I've got to find where I can mute notifications without muting you guys, but I'll figure that out.
Oh,
we'll get there.
We'll get you sorted. Don't you worry.
And since you'll be hosting the show going forward, we'll get you a mic and everything. You'll be set up. So
perfect.
Yours now.
Yeah,
it's all yours.
I'm looking forward to the gaming updates, hearing what you guys are up to lately. That's what I'm mostly interested in.
We'll have a lot of juicy stuff here in about 2 weeks, I'm sure.
Woohoo! Perfect. I love it.
Perfect. Love it. Good luck at Martinsville, buddy. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, Parker.
That's awesome.
He's a fun dude.
Yeah. I
never played Minecraft, dude.
I never played.
That's wild.
What in the world are you talking about?
That's Parker, buddy.
I know.
You were missing out on an entire. It's like the Interstellar of video games. You know what?
That's such a good, dude. Yeah. It kind of is. I think it's the best-selling game ever made.
It really is, and it's amazing that even at the time it came out, it looked like garbage. And my dad was like, "Why are you playing that game? There's so many better-looking games." I'm like, "Dude, it's like Legos."
Get out of my room.
Yeah, exactly. It's Legos, and we're gonna shoehorn Legos into every episode now. That's my plan.
Good luck with that. Thanks.
Oh, we did last week.
Yeah,
I have never built a Lego thing in my life.
You're like the most unfun.
Golly.
It's just funny because you're like, wow, you're genuinely fun to be around. Like, you're always in a good mood and everything, but you don't do. The only thing you really care about is going in circles. You really don't do anything else other than that.
I like cars and then watching race cars and driving or watching them. Like it has been I've been a singular mind person since I was 9 years old.
That's not true. That's not true. Actually, you did have another hobby that we shared in common. You did Flight Simulator for a little bit.
Oh, that's right. No, you're right. I did do Flight Simulator. That was my nerdy
That's
thing.
how we get them back.
So in I told you that. Yeah, you and I talked about this. So probably 8th grade into like early high school, I would do flight sim, and I would do like I joined a virtual airline. I think I was on Virtual United Airlines, which is hilarious because I don't fly United at all in real life. But
you and me both. We were coworkers.
Yeah, we were. Ago. And I would do I would do it online with like real air traffic controllers, and then I would do flights and do my homework while I was doing the flights. So I even had that passenger app that would like your if you move the plane too violently, the passengers would get sick or whatever.
And they'll scream.
Yeah, they'll scream. Yep, that was pretty wild.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I did that. I was pretty. There was a point there, probably early high school. Like I know everyone says like, oh, I could land a jetliner if I had to. Like I genuinely think I could have because I knew the buttons. Like especially a regional jet. There's no doubt in my mind. So
I 100% believe it.
Yeah,
it is. I will say the Venn diagram of people into racing that is also into aviation is a lot more of an overlap, as I've learned throughout the years. I feel like people in the industry
that is so true.
Are just very much. I know Chase Elliott. He lived next door to one of my buddies who was in flight sim, and they both would go out flying and whatnot. Now Chase flies and does all that. You saw it on the documentary, but I feel like there are so many people in the industry that have pilot's license or do flight sim. It's crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. I flew that helicopter that one time and was thinking about getting my helicopter license. So I've dabbled with the thought. I think at some point in my life I'll do it. There was definitely a period in my life where I was like, that seems like I would probably have to cut out drinking to do that. And I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. So
hey, just go to Alaska. Who's watching?
Just to do the focus and everything it took, I was like, this is gonna be too much stuff. So now I got way too much stuff going on. But
so now you went to racing instead.
Yeah, I just went all in on racing in this show and YouTube with my my YouTube video is doing well, by the way. If listeners and viewers haven't watched it, go check out my personal YouTube channel, Parker Kligerman. That's hard for me to say. It's the beat a pro race car driver and win $5,000. Yeah, I couldn't say it there for a second. Just gonna put it out there. It's starting to catch the algo. It's taken off. People have loved it. It's gotten a ton of press, so it's pretty cool. And we're already working on number 2. So, all right. We promised it at the top, by the way. Formula One. We had a poll 4 days ago after the rumors started to come out that Liam Lawson's ride was in jeopardy. Just 2 races into the 2025 F1 season. This poll that we put out said, did Red Bull make the wrong choice? And the first option was a picture of Liam Lawson saying, no, it's still early. The second option was Sergio Perez. Yes, bring back Checo. And the third was Yuki Tsunoda. Yes, it should have been Yuki. And this was 4 days ago. 49% of people said, no, it's still too early. Only 7% wanted to bring back Checo, and 44% said it should have been Yuki. For those 44%, it sounds like it's all but confirmed Yuki Tsunoda will be in the proper Red Bull racing car at Japan in Suzuka, which will be massive. This is pretty crazy. I know they did this to Danny Kvyat, 4 races into the season back in 2017. That's when Max Verstappen stepped in and won in his first race, which was insane. And it must have been the indication that we all were looking forward to know that the guy was a freak of nature. So Yuki now gets that chance.
And Pierre Gasly was out of a job. May not have a job. I think he went down to
he got downgraded, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point.
Wow.
Well,
or Daniel Kvyat, sorry.
Yeah, Danny Kvyat. Yeah, he ended up getting forced around and then was kicked out. So, which actually, nice guy, by the way. Met him a couple times at sports car races and when he did NASCAR. And at Sebring 12 Hour, we bumped into each other a couple times, chatted for a bit. So he loves NASCAR, by the way. He's like, I want to do more of it. I love it. It's so much fun.
We should get him on.
I hope he does.
Talk to him sometime.
We can.
You know him.
Yeah, we know.
You guys are practically best friends. Why don't you guys?
We're filling up with guests. We just said Sam's coming on bi-weekly. We got Cole Custer coming once a month. We got more that are in the pipeline here. We got some guys over that are racing in Europe that are hopefully going to come on here soon. Some Americans that are over there that are doing big things internationally. Wow. Well, let's dive into this for a second. I just want your guys' thoughts because a lot of people heard my thoughts on Monday that basically this is just almost schizophrenic. it basically devalues their decision making and their processes of how they decided on Liam Lawson being in this car to do this so quickly. And from a tough start, one was a rain race, and the second is a track he basically hasn't been to. So as the fan view, I guess I'm still a fan too, just of F1. What do you guys think? What do we think of this?
I think it definitely goes to show some sort of incompetence or something going on at Red Bull, because not only did they put Liam in the first place over, they could have poached Carlos Sainz. I don't know the logistics around it, but they definitely could have made it happen. I think that was probably the number one choice, or Tsunoda, just because Sainz and Tsunoda have both proven they are F1 level talents, like they deserve to be in F1. Liam Lawson, he's obviously an incredible driver, but Red Bull, Red Bull has basically 4 cars in a way. Why would you start them off in your premier car when it's going to be a hard year to compete in the Constructors' Championship anyway? I don't get it.
That's the Carlos Sainz thing. I didn't even think about that. That's right. They had a total chance at him, and they didn't take it. It's a great point. And
what are you doing?
To your point, Yuki had been in F1 longer than Liam, had more experience. I know you're a big Yuki Tsunoda fan, though, AJ. So I'm surprised you didn't stick up for him.
I didn't know I was a Yuki Tsunoda fan.
I feel like you're a big Yuki fan. You're always like, I love that guy. In our chat,
I like it. He's cool. He's not. I'm a Max guy personally.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
So,
my thought is this shows exactly how screwed Red Bull is for the post Max Verstappen era, because I feel like we are walking closer and closer to Max Verstappen signing with another team every single day. And this car is so suited for him, and he's even having trouble making it work now, that this shows that Red Bull is in real trouble when Max leaves.
That is a great point, Josh. Wow, you've completely redeemed yourself from the stupidest comment ever earlier in the show. Hold on. That deserves a clap. That deserves a clap. I hope that came up on the. Yeah, thank you, AJ. Join me. Yeah, thanks.
I don't know what happened.
Trying to get some camaraderie here, and you're just killing it. But that's a super good point, because it sounds like he is most likely headed to an Aston Martin, right, or a Mercedes. Mm-hmm. They're going to pay him a gargantuan amount of money. He's going to get a full constructor's deal, aligned with an OEM in that sense. I know Ford is coming to Red Bull, but direct aligning with an OEM could be powerful for him. Who knows what they would do with him? I think that is really smart, because if he's not there, this is a midfield team right now, possibly being outrun by their B team. So, we'll see. If Yuki's better, then that disproves this. But if he's not, this does show serious flaws in Red Bull Racing right now.
I feel like Red Bull Racing has always punched above their caliber with Max at the wheel.
Yep.
And they spent the last 4 years developing a car around Max. So as far as the original question, I think Yuki should have always been the first one to go too, because you can burn him a lot quicker, because he's a Honda driver and he's out at the end of the year anyways. So they should have gone with him first and then promoted Lawson after the fact. That's just me.
That is a great point, because he definitely is associated with Honda in that sense. They always support Japanese drivers. Toyota and Honda have a long history of doing that. So let's talk about this next thing that popped up on F1 Reddit you found. And this is kind of interesting, where I think for the YouTube viewers, you should pop it up on the screen for sure. But some of these, internet sleuths went on the onboards that all the cars have and found on the cooldown lap of China drivers driving into the dirt to try and get dirt on their tires. Now, a little background on this. This has been going on for a long, long time. And it used to be that you wanted to pick up what David Hobbs would term clag, which is basically the dirt and grime and the tire debris that comes off tires as you run around and the tires lose the rubber. It balls up on the side of the racetrack, which we call marbles as well. And so you would always see, especially in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, is on the cooldown lap, drivers would drive offline in all that stuff, trying to pick it up, get as much of that rubber back on those sticky hot tires, and that would raise the weight of the car. And it could be a significant amount. It could be a couple pounds of weight difference. So the thing is, if you look at China, it's a really smooth surface in a lot of places. And I don't know if these tires are really sort of degrading the same way that they did back then. And so I think some of these teams have been like, hey, we're not picking up enough weight from the rubber. We got to start putting dirt on that rubber and trying to pick up rocks and debris from going in the grass. So you have an onboard Charles Leclerc doing this. And then even Max Verstappen did it, coming in the pit lane with the left side of his car.
A lot of drivers did it. These are just the two examples that we found. The question I have, Parker, because this is obviously done for weight purposes, is why the hell are we measuring the weight of vehicles with tires on if this is legitimately a problem? Because you're obviously losing weight when the rubber goes off of that tire. And that's just a thing. That's a part of life. You gotta play with, is when you use tire, tread goes away, weight of the vehicle goes away. Why are we measuring cars with their tires on? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I think it would be really hard to come up with a system of putting them on jacks and then understanding, then you have to offset the jack weight. And then the other side is, especially in F1, if you want to put them on like different wheels or whatever, how they apply and what bolts, use and that sort of, I don't know. You'd get some murky territory. The wheels are a part of a car. I think they have to be a part of it, right? And teams can do little different designs on their wheels there, right? With the covers and that sort of stuff. So I think they have to be a part of it.
You could just measure the wheels separately. I don't know. To me, it's just.
I don't think it matters.
Silly.
It's just, this is racing. People,
I love it.
Find little stuff. You like it?
Yeah. I love just the little stupid things that teams do to try to skirt around the rules like this. Like just sneaking whatever they can sneak around, even though I'm sure the FIA and like the stewards are completely aware of it. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just vintage motorsports trickery going on, and it's cool.
That's fair. I'm with you. It is.
I will agree with that.
Let's keep moving in
real quick.
Formula E.
Before we go to that, I did want to correct myself, and maybe somebody in the comments can help answer this, because I was thinking about it as I was going to bed Monday night. I said that the cars that were underweight were because of fuel, but I never actually checked. Do they take into account the fact that Charles was literally missing part of his front wing into the weight as part of being underweight? Or is that considered race damage?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it in F1. It's a good question. Let's find out.
It's a good question.
That's our homework. And the commenters' homework. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments if you know the answer, or we'll go find it. I'm sure Reddit would know. We could ask it on Reddit.
Where's Break F1? We need to ask him.
Let's get him back on.
We could ask him. We can get him back on. We could ask him. Let's do that.
Okay, nobody Google it. Nobody Google it until we have him on in like a month and a half. I don't want to get the answer spoiled.
No one will care by then, and everyone's forgotten, but we'll make it happen. Let's talk Formula E for a second, because it has something to do a little bit of F1. There was some reports that basically some of the people in Formula E have told Sergio Perez that he would be welcomed with open arms, of course, because he's a big name and has a massive following to come race in Formula E. No real insight past that. He hasn't announced the next move, but it could be a possibility for him. I don't know why he would do that. Yep. I think there's probably more fun. Like I like Formula E. I think he could probably do, I don't know his personal interests, but I'd be honest, like when Fernando Alonso came and did endurance sports car racing, I think he would find that way more badass after being F1. Because Formula E is definitely like electric Formula One. You're going to be running the same, just a lot of the restrictions and rules and that sort of thing, and a little less dynamic than what you have, like myself, who's done some endurance sports car racing. Now I can speak from experience wearing my Sebring 12-hour shirt, that I think that would be a core direction for him.
Yeah.
And I know he doesn't want to do that.
I agree.
So speaking of IndyCar, there's been a lot of people upset in the IndyCar world about thermal. I was having some conversations with some IndyCar people who I was like, man, that place kind of sucks. And they were like, yep. I was like, okay. Graham Rahal tried to defend it on Twitter, and Josh, I think you have the tweet where he quote tweeted Nathan Brown, who's a journalist, and said, "Uninspiring product, probably the most passes a road course will see this year. Green flag, physical with awesome battles all the way. Strategy up the air. Tire dead, conducive to great wheel-to-wheel racing. Some can't be pleased and some can't help but be negative." I think what he's missing there is that there's zero atmosphere when you go to a club track. It looks on TV like they're racing at a weird club track.
It's so weird just watching like the racing, like not even the racing alone, just like seeing them drive around this track was like, I feel like I was watching either like a test session somewhere or like some weird like Top Gear show.
But not as entertaining.
I think we'll just put this on the stack of papers of drivers who were on the track thinking that the product was exciting to watch because they were having a good time running it, versus actually understanding what the product looks like on television.
I want to know. I've seen many race car driver interviews in my life. I want to know where Graham finished because I feel like if he had like a really good run, that might play into his I've seen race car drivers do that before. They're like, man, Kyle Larson in 2021, this package is great. I love it. I don't know if he actually said that, but you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know where he finished, but I don't think it was particularly well because I think I was looking at one point.
11th.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Outside the top 10.
That's pretty good.
It's decent. It's a competitive field. There's no doubt about that. So it's a decent day for them. But I don't know. I disagree with him. I think in terms of the racing and the on-track product in that sense, that was fine. But it was everything else around it that just looked dreadful. And this when they went there last year, I felt the same way. I turned it on and I was like, oh, this looks awful. Like, where are they? Why are they doing this? So I think it's I agree with the rest of the community in that they probably shouldn't be going there. Also, we did get some confirmation from the viewership out there, and Adam Stern dropped the Motorsport viewership in America last weekend, led by the NASCAR Cup Series at 2.464 million viewers on FS1. NASCAR Xfinity, with yours truly in the booth, 1.16 million was second. NASCAR Trucks, 906,000 on Fox. F1 at 3 a.m. in the morning got 824,000 people, which is probably the most impressive damn thing I've seen. IndyCar, though, just 704,000 people on Fox, and NHRA on FS1, 669,000. That is a tough putt for IndyCar. A more than 50% drop from what they had at the first race at St. Pete. I think the message is clear. One, don't be on at the same damn time as NASCAR. It's just got to be like...
Or March Madness.
Or, well, but, NASCAR and Xfinity and everything was up against that. So I'm not going to say that's the problem. But I am going to say if IndyCar... Like, I tried to watch both. I had one on the iPad, one on the TV. But it's really hard to enjoy two races simultaneously when there's so much stuff happening at both of them, right? And it's like, I love those times when IndyCar was earlier, it bled into NASCAR, like, it got done and boom, NASCAR was starting. And I was like, that is perfect because I would presume a large part of IndyCar's audience are NASCAR fans as well. And they just want to see more motorsports, but they're going to choose NASCAR first. It's bigger. It's just always has been. It might be their first love, that sort of thing, but they've gravitated to saying, hey, more racing is more racing. You put them on at the same time, they're going to make the choice to go to NASCAR.
Yeah. Well,
what would you guys choose?
I mean, they literally didn't have the choice halfway through the race and got force-fed NASCAR because Indy had technical issues, which, I mean, that definitely doesn't help numbers because these numbers, what I was reading about them, because I was curious how that technical issue, reflected it. And those numbers are post the technical issue. So issues where people tuned in, and I'm sure there is a subset of viewers like myself who weren't watching the IndyCar race before, but then tuned in because they thought it would be interesting to watch them fumble around with a technical issue. But I would say a vast majority of people probably tuned out and didn't tune back in. Or there was at least a measurable amount of people who were like, well, I got better things to do than to watch a series I'm not interested in, and turn it off or flip their channel to FS1 to watch NASCAR because now they were invested in that race instead.
Yep.
So, the first head-to-head of the season, obviously NASCAR, the winner. It is handily the winner. But I want to see a weekend with NASCAR and IndyCar up against each other again, just to see what those numbers look like. Even though it's not necessarily great for viewership, I want to get a fair playing field one more time.
You will have that chance. I think there's like 3 or 4 more times it's going to happen. So
yeah,
wow,
yeah. Guys, last thing. This has been decided in our group chat because we've been sending each other videos and such. We have all decided. This is groundbreaking stuff for all of you listeners and viewers out there. Absolutely groundbreaking. But we're about to make a statement here that is, I think, revolutionary in a lot of respects to nobody. And that is rally cars are fucking cool. Like, we love them. We keep sending each other the videos of people flying through the air. I think that's Rally Kenya. I sent you guys an onboard, just like the guys working the pedals and how long they're full throttle, just ripping through the desert. It's just so wild to me. I love them. I love the rally car stuff.
Have you ever seen the Samir, you're breaking the car video?
Oh yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
You seen it? Okay. It's
that
classic.
plus, if you need to go check out some stuff on YouTube, Group B Rally back in the day, absolutely insane. And obviously, I've always been a big fan of the Dakar Rally, but all those are crazy. But the just pure WRC is just so cool. Like, it's amazing. It's just not bigger, but it is a tough TV product, tough product to get into. Definitely a great clip product with them flying through the air. Like, I always pay attention to those videos when they're launching through the air, whether it's snow rally or wherever. But Rally Wales and seeing how high they get, and they do like the breakdowns of who launched over the jump differently and that sort of stuff, which is super cool. It's a tough watch because it's always sort of, I know they do it live on their like on-demand products, but I've always just watched sort of like the magazine 30-minute show that sort of condenses the highlights, and it's it's a little antiquated in that sense, but I think they're cool.
Aren't they coming to the US WRC? In like Chattanooga,
they were thinking about it.
They were last year.
They were
year.
thinking about it. They were thinking about it. It's not. I don't know if it's happening.
All
right.
I just want to see those so bad. They pop up on my Instagram feed, and I'm like, oh my god, that car literally was
camp out
15 feet in the air, and there's just 2 guys chilling in there, just guys being dudes, just flying down back roads. It's like, I mean, I feel like that's closer to NASCAR roots than NASCAR is now.
Very similar. I do want to go do it at some point. I want to do rally stuff really badly. I always wanted to build a rally car. I owned this little Audi A4 for a while that I was going to turn into a rally build. So I did do the cam rally thing back in 2013 that went to SEMA, which was kind of cool. Designed basically like a Camry into a rally car, called it the Cam Rally, which was fun, and it got some play on Jalopnik. So before we go, AJ, what is our Easter update?
No Easter update. So this segment's quickly becoming AJ's wacky motorsports. Sometimes not wacky racing maybe would be a better name.
Okay.
Parker, I'm sure Josh is familiar. Parker, are you familiar with the marble racing?
I am a little bit, yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I actually am.
This is marble. What's the channel called for this? It's huge. They get like millions of views every single video of them just racing marbles.
Gels marble runs, but this is the marble rally.
This is the rally version.
Yeah.
Right. This is amazing.
See? Hey, look at us. We connected.
If you're not watching on YouTube, go check this out. But Gels marble runs. We're watching these marbles race through sand course, basically.
Yeah.
Wow,
look at that.
We got a winner.
That's amazing.
Look at this. They're all crashing at the finish. Oh no.
Yeah, dude.
The pile on.
Man, look at that.
A couple years ago.
Dude, that's crazy.
How do they track them?
Oh, who knows, man?
Dude, that's 15 points for Green Turtle.
Green Turtle's doing great.
That's race.
They have all sorts of different ones they do. There's like rally, obviously, that we just saw. There's like an F1 one that's doing that's popping off.
Well,
don't know if there's a NASCAR one.
This is really intense. This is great stuff. Wow.
Oh yeah, the production.
All we had to do, all the stuff we've done, all we had to do was race some marbles.
I mean, there's actually
Marble Olympics.
There's a video game around marble racing.
Oh my goodness.
It is a lot of fun.
Through the Twitch game.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm calling the CW. I want to redo my contract. I want to be commentating on Marble Racing.
Whoa,
Look at
lead change. Look at that. They have a
Marble.
graphic for that. That's sick.
This is
Oh my
actually really
goodness.
impressive. I just don't know how they track them. What technology are they using? They have little like microchips in them or something of like live timing?
Maybe. I feel like that's just like, that's a lot of like money just to track. I feel like I might just
Absolutely
be doing it by
next
eye, to be
level.
honest.
It's insane. All right. We have to move on though, because we got to do our picks for the weekend. Josh, you were asking about it. We haven't done these in a while, but we got to do picks.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of them, so now you have to go first.
Okay.
I don't even know what's racing this weekend.
All right. So we got 3
think it's
races this weekend.
It's just NASCAR.
It is only NASCAR.
Oh, okay.
We got truck racing, Xfinity racing, and Cup racing. Let me double check that actually, but I'm pretty. Yeah, no, we do. It is all 3 this weekend at Martinsville. So clearly there are favorites going into this. Do we want to start with the Cup race, truck race first?
You just list your 3.
Yes, sir.
List your
Truck.
3.
Okay, my 3. I'm gonna go ahead and say Corey Heim, winner of the truck race. Eric Almirola, winner of the Xfinity race, and Ryan Blaney. He's gonna finally get it done. Winner of the Cup race.
AJ, do you want me to go to you?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. Trucks.
Don't take my picks.
I'm gonna go Daniel Hemrick. Wild. In Xfinity,
Okay.
I'm gonna say Sheldon Creed gets it done. Even though Sam Mayer was on here, and I know he wants to get it done. I'm gonna say Sheldon. And for Cup, I'm gonna join you. Ryan Blaney doesn't blow an engine. He's been absolutely insanely good there in the next gen car. He takes it home.
I will take trucks. I will go with Grant Enfinger. Xfinity. Is Kyle Larson racing ?
No, he's not.
Well, I was
No,
gonna
he's
pick him anyway. I'm gonna pick Sam Mayer because I should have told Sam this. I actually, when I think of Martinsville Xfinity, I think of 3 people. I think of Ty Gibbs. He's had many famous moments there. I think of Justin Allgaier, and I think of Sam Mayer. Those are the 3 people I think of when I think of Xfinity at Martinsville. So Sam Mayer, and then Cup. Let's go with something wacky. I'm gonna go with let's go with Cole Custer.
Oh, whoa.
Okay.
All right.
Whoa.
I'll
What
have
do you mean?
whatever he's
That-
smoking.
That'd be massive. He did tell us he was going to be higher up in points when he comes back on here in a couple weeks. So
See,
that was
there you
last
go.
week he joined us.
Yeah, I listened to our guests.
Yeah, no, you really do. That's great. You just went with 2 guests.
I haven't looked at the weather, but Martinsville is one of those races that they could race with wet tires, right?
Yes, they could, but it's not going to rain.
True.
No,
It's not gonna rain.
no.
Oh,
No.
I'm gonna go get in my
I've already
plane and
looked.
start cloud seeding.
Yeah.
Want it to be interesting.
Boys, another great edition of the Money Lap group chat. Thank you for being here. Thanks for doing this. Thanks to Sam Mayer for joining us. As we mentioned, he's going to be on bi-weekly. We've got Cole Custer once a month and many more guests joining us here in the future. Thank you all for watching and listening. We'll be back on Monday. Peace. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Money Lap. If you like this show, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Share it with friends. We want to spread the word of great motorsports shows, of which we're somewhere up and around there. I'm not exactly sure where, but nonetheless, you can also reach out to us anytime on across social media or at our website, themoneylap.com, or at our email, friends@themoneylap.com. And of course, you can always leave us a review. 5 stars gets you on this very show. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Goodbye.